the street.
Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go. Woo!
All right, time to make our official picks here. It hasn't really gone well, particularly for any of us in the picking of these games so far this season. But the Vikings are 2.5-point favorites as of the recording of this episode. And so we will operate with that number in mind here. After we shout out Roku, boys, that's the TV that I am watching Vikings games on all season. And it's great because it's hard to find sporting events that you want to watch now with all the different networks. Judd's got his Roku mug. Look at that. Is there a screen in there too?
Oh, my God.
That's crazy.
God. I missed it the whole time.
It's great. It's got the Roku menu. But yeah, they'll recommend things based on your viewing habits and based on the teams and leagues that you prefer to consume. And you click on it, and it'll give you the platform or platforms that those things are on. So it helps curate your sports viewing experience. Roku is better TV for everyone, America's #1 streaming platform. And whether it's sports, entertainment, or movies, Roku TV is the thing that it brings the Mackies together at the end of the day, at the end of the week, for some chillaxation. Go to Roku.com to learn more or shop at a retailer near you. So, who's excited for Bears Week?
I am.
I
am excited for Bears Week. Yeah.
I'm very curious about this game. Yes.
Okay.
I'm excited because I'm excited to see it. Like it's a weird season because no matter what takes place, it's disappointing, okay, right now. But let me be very clear. No matter what takes place, I think a lot rides on what transpires here.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh man, Carson Wentz is still the quarterback and the Vikings aren't that good and it all sucks, right? I am very curious to see how this team evolves in these last, 9 games now? Is that correct? Yeah. So I am excited. I'm with Declan for Bears Week.
Yep. It should, yeah. There's a major kind of fork in the road here. We'll see which way the Vikings go. But it's 2.5, Vikings 2.5. Where's the money going? According to Action Network, 61% of the bets are on the Bears and 75% of money is on the Bears. So a ton of people looking and saying, wait a second. So the Bears have a better record. The Bears pretty much dominated the first 3 quarters of the first game these two teams played. The Bears are on a heater right now. They've won a bunch of games in a row. And they're underdogs going into this game. So you get points. And I think that's where people's logic is landing here. What are the sharps saying about this game from Action Network? So Caleb Williams is just 1-7 in his career against the NFC North. His only win was against the Packers at Lambeau at the end of last season. On 7 days of rest or less, Caleb is 0-5 against the NFC North, losing by an average of 11 points per game. McCarthy has already racked up more NFC North wins, 2-0, than Caleb in his career so far, a year and a half of games against the NFC North. So McCarthy's got that one on Caleb. The Bears have been living on the edge lately. Chicago has won 3 of their last 4 games when they've been trailing entering the fourth quarter, and they are 3-2 straight up this year when trailing after the third quarter. So they do pretty well in the fourth quarter, except for that game against the Vikings. Since the year 2020, the Bears are 7-25 against the NFC North. Only the Jets since 2020 have fewer wins against their own division than the Bears do. And then this season, the Bears are 0-2 in the division and 6-1 outside the division. It's been a running theme for the Bears. In road games, the Bears were 4-22 from the start of 2022 through the Lions blowout in week 2. So on the road, they were just terrible for like 3-4 years. But since that Lions blowout earlier this year, the Bears are 3-1 in their last 4 road games. So they might be turning a little bit of a corner on the road, which is interesting. The Vikings are trying to make it through a grueling stretch of games. They entered a 7-game stretch of really good teams, 3-2 on the season. They're just 1-3 over their last 4. teams at home after facing 4 consecutive opponents with a winning regular season win total of 9+ are just 17 and 28 against the spread. So basically, it's a hard schedule, and it's going to be hard is the obvious motto there. And I'll give you 2 more here. The Vikings coming off a game to forget, which is predictable after a big upset against the Lions 2 weeks ago, because the Vikings are now 0-6 against the spread after facing the Lions under Kevin O'Connell. And then the last 20 years, only 3 teams have had 13 penalties and 3 turnovers in a home game, and then played at home the next week, and all 3 of them lost the next week. So that's not good. So with all of that, what are you most confident in on behalf of the Vikings?
All right, it's going to sound weird, but I'm actually most confident in the fact I think the offense is going to do well in this game, and here's why. The Bears' defense is their Achilles heel. And the Bears' defense across the board, just in traditional stats, in total defense, they're 27th. They're giving up 375.7 yards per game. Against the pass, they're 26th, 240 yards per game. Against the run, which I do believe O'Connell's going to do more of in this game, just from all the criticism, they're 24. And they have given up 27.4 points per game, which is the 28th in the league. If you look at their wins, yes, they get full credit for them, but they're against some not so great teams. And the Vikings aren't great either. But I am most confident the Vikings are going to find ways to move the football in this game that are going to come through both the pass. I would not be surprised if Justin Jefferson has a big game, and also the run. I think this is a get-right game offensively because this Bears defense has problems stopping a nosebleed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, turnovers are kind of the way that they make it up on defense, right? Which is, that's either something that's going to keep going all year, or it's going to come crashing down, and they will, like, they're bailing out a bad yardage defense with takeaways, which the Vikings have done that at times in the past.
2022, right?
Yeah. Yep. Dex, what are you most confident in?
So until proven otherwise, I understand the Bears are 6-3 right now. Until proven otherwise, I trust that the Vikings have the Bears number. So Chicago has just 1 win since 2020 against Minnesota. So the Vikings have pretty much dominated Chicago. What used to be a house of horrors at Soldier Field, the Vikings have picked up wins there. This is obviously a home game for Minnesota. Until proven otherwise, I don't believe in this Bears team. So this is very, I guess, homerish and a little blind and potentially dangerous and being exposed here by Sunday afternoon. Until proven otherwise, I don't believe that the Bears are real, and I think the Vikings are still the better team. I do. So I'm going to have a blind optimism here that the Vikings are just a better team than Chicago.
I'm going to be more specific in that same. So I agree that the Bears are a little fraudulent, and I do think it's likely to come crashing down at some point here. They're building something. Like, they're definitely they're finding ways to win in ways that they hadn't before, which is a good first step.
They're on the right track for sure. I agree with that.
But there's some regression coming here, and the question is, will it hit on Sunday or will it hit later in the season? Will it wait until the wild card round or something? But like I said, the Bears defense leads the NFL in takeaway rate. 20% of opposing offensive drives end in a takeaway for the Bears defense, which is, that either means that they are one of the most talented, crazy takeaway defenses. The 85 Bears are back.
Right.
Or it means there's some noise and some luck in there that's bound to regress, and they're going to stop taking the ball away in batches. The Bears also have 4 wins in the final 2 minutes of games this year. So can they keep riding the edge like this, where we need 3 takeaways to win a game, or we need to score that drive with a minute to go or 30 seconds to go? And these are kind of the things where people were criticizing the Vikings for in like 2022, which Judd mentioned even last year. Well, they're in all these close games, and they got to come down to the wire, and
they got takeaways.
And the takeaways, yeah. Like, when you take away the takeaways, and you do, not that you should apologize for those.
Don't take them away.
Yeah, I'm going to take them back. How good are you with all the other things? And they're still very inconsistent. Mm-hmm. So, and also, I think Brian Flores' defense, it is confusing to decipher for a young quarterback. And Ben Johnson's going to build in some answers to the test. But I just think Bears regression is going to hit at some point in some of those key categories. So, All right, what are you most nervous about on behalf of the Vikings?
I am, to go back to what you just said, Phil, I am a little bit nervous about the Bears offense, which is clearly very well run. Like Ben Johnson does a lot of stuff, confuses teams. I feel like the Vikings' last two games defensively have been pretty sound. Now they're not getting takeaways, which is a problem, but I feel like there was a stretch there where they were just awful, or for them, they were awful. But here's what concerns me a little bit. So the Vikings run defense is 22nd in the league, giving up 125.6 yards per game. The Bears are 12th. They are rushing for 147.3 yards per game, I'm sorry, no, they're second.
They're
I
second
wrote that
in the
down
NFL
wrong.
in
Yeah,
rushing.
they're
Yep.
second. They're second. I wrote the number signs down, with like the number X, and I was looking and I thought the 1X was a 1. And it was not. So they're second. So I am a little bit concerned that the Bears rushing game is going to exploit the Vikings' previous issues in the run game. Now, I know Van Ginkel's back. I know Cashman's back. So you have solidified things there more. But that is the one thing that concerns me is, can the Bears get the ground game going against the Vikings? And if so, that eats up clock. That opens up a lot of doors offensively. So that is actually my concern, is on the defensive side going into this game, much more so than the offensive side.
Yeah, and Ben Johnson has shown with the right chess pieces as a coordinator, he can kind of get behind those blitzes, and he can. It is kind of amazing. We did a breakdown recently on the O-line committee of the Bears offense. It was like maybe 3 weeks ago. And when you watch it, if you didn't see the Bears uniforms, and obviously Caleb is a far different quarterback than Jared Goff, but when he's playing on schedule, the concepts, it's the Lions. It's a lot of, they're using the running game to set up passing concepts. They do a great job of getting the defense to be going this way, while a receiver or a tight end comes across the formation wide open, running through like mesh concepts
Trick plays
and
are
things
the
like
same.
that.
The trick plays are
A
the
lot of the
same
trick
exact
plays,
thoughts.
yeah, totally.
And just for a bit more context too, on the Bears run game, just as far as carries go, they have 63 more than the Vikings. But the difference is the Vikings 200 rushing attempts as a team puts them 30th in a 32 team league. The Bears are 11th with 263. So Ben Johnson runs the football.
Yes. He believes that running the football is core to consistently good offense and winning football games.
Yes, sir.
That's just one man's opinion, though. So, Dex, what are you most nervous about on behalf of the Vikings?
So Phil said there'll be likely regression with the turnover luck or turnover margins that the Bears have done. But to me, that makes me nervous because they've done obviously the best job at getting takeaways. And conversely, on offense, Chicago has turned the ball over just 6 times. So like they're also doing a very good job on offense on not turning over the football. I'll kind of give you 1.5 ones here because Phil obviously talked about that's why it's a positive. I think it's a negative. But the Vikings going 3 and out almost all the time. I think they're first in the NFL in 3 and out percentage. They're certainly up there. And the Bears' third down defense is 5th in the end. So they're getting offenses off the field, which is good. So good for Chicago, bad for Minnesota. So those two things, losing the turnover margin in battle. Obviously, the Bears have done a great job there. And then also they've done a really good job getting off the field on third downs. So that would make me nervous if I'm the Vikings this Sunday.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that the thing that I'm most nervous about is just Kevin O'Connell's, some of his logic that has spilled out the last week or two, this week in particular, that he has been confronted with some questions and criticisms about his extremist play calling tendencies. And
Sounds like he's a political figure.
I mean, he's an extremist passing play caller. He is. He believes.
This man is considered dangerous. Do not approach.
And when confronted about it, I think respectfully, and of course, like, you're going to get defensive. You're an NFL head coach, and you do this for a living, and you study it. And these people that are asking you questions are these idiots on podcasts. They don't put in the work that I put in, and that's all fair. That's all fair. But I just feel like there's 4 years of evidence with some of these tendencies that at some point you gotta like remove your ego from it, remove your your current patterns. You don't have to overhaul everything, but
No.
can
No.
he adapt a little bit in some obvious ways
Well,
that set the Vikings up to convert some more first downs and keep possession of the football?
so I think they're going to run the ball a lot more on Sunday, and I think the out is like it's not going to be him saying I goofed up before, but I think the fact that McCarthy goes into this game with a bad throwing hand probably helps the logic, right? Because like
You would think so.
you're not going to have him attempt to potentially 48 near 50 passes with a bad hand. So I do think that there is a relatively easy reason for why you ran
Yeah.
the ball more. My question is long term. Long term, do we see him now start to run the ball more?
Well, if they let's say they're down 10-0 in the first quarter, which has been
Yeah.
that's been a thing that's happened. Do they abandon? Like he'll abandon it when they're up 10-9, let alone when they're down 10-0. So I think that there's some wins here to be had if you just stick to pounding the actual rock and the maybe hypothetical rock. So, all right, we'll get into who do we think wins, who do we think covers, make our official predictions here in just a moment. But underdog gives you a chance to win some money this football weekend.
Absolutely, riding higher or lower on so many different things. Plus, make sure your notifications are turned on for a few reasons on Underdog. Number one, you will get breaking NFL news. That's honestly, it beats Twitter to me sometimes in terms of flagging breaking news, which is great to know. And then also the tokens that will pop in there in your lobby for different boosts to help you get a little extra money in your pocket. So go to Underdog, download it, sign up with promo code SCORE. SKOR. I've seen the winning pick'ems that fans have sent me over the last weeks or so. So continue to send those in. That's awesome. I love that our Purple Daily Honest is winning some money. And then go download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code SCORE.
Also, a shout out to a Game Day Men's Health for powering this episode here too. So I have been really fortunate and happy to have found Game Day Men's Health over the past few months, modern men's health care, where I have been able to reclaim a lot of energy that I feel like I've lost over the last 10 years. My sleep scores since working with Game Day Men's Health, and particularly the TRT therapy, my sleep scores are better in the last 2.5 months than they've been since I started tracking with a Fitbit every night. It's just been a game changer for me. That like decreased energy mental fog that I have felt regularly at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon has massively, if not completely, subsided since I started working with Game Day Men's Health. If you stop into one of their locations, specifically Minnetonka and Edina, they also have a Roseville location, but mention Purple Daily and get a free vitamin shot at your first visit in addition to your first T-test consultation. GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Purple Daily. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Purple Daily. All right, dudes. So we are all now, after being wrong across the board last week, 4-5 picking Vikings games straight up,
Sounds familiar.
just like the Vikings are.
Yes, sir.
And then against the spread, Judd and Dex are 4-5. I'm 5-4, so none of us are particularly crushing it. But Vikings are 2.5-point favorites. Who wins and by how many points?
All right. So the pendulum, the momentum is so heavy against the purple that I'm going to give them a win. I'm going to say that they win this game.
Yeah.
Spread's a little bit more difficult because I don't know that they win by much. But you know what? It's not 3. I'm going to say the Vikings win and cover. But it feels like look, last week wasn't good, but Detroit was. And I think O'Connell is going to, at least in the very short term, realize that there were mistakes made against Baltimore. So Vikings win, Vikings cover. Much more confident they can win than cover.
Yeah, okay. Bill Dex?
Yeah, I have them winning and I have them covering. Also, with the Vikings just having one win so far at US Bank Stadium this season, which is atrocious. I know they had their 2 neutral site games in Europe, but get back on home, man. And they've had Caleb Williams' number. Yes, the Bears might be getting some things figured out finally as a franchise, but I still like that KOC, even with some things that have annoyed us over the last few weeks, still is going to cook up a good enough game plan here. So I'll pick them to win and cover. Phil, I don't know if this is like up and available to you, but every time that we have picked, and I don't mean to spoil your pick here, but every time we have picked to win and to cover, have the Vikings always lost? Because I feel like that's been a thing on picks this year.
I don't have that because I just like
just do
keep track of what the week to week is, but it does feel. I mean, last week for sure. Yeah, it's. So I'm the same way you guys. I'm going win and a cover here because this is what happens in the NFL. Oh, one team is out over its skis a little bit over here. We're not talking about a Chiefs team rolling in on fire or one of the other juggernauts. It's the Bears who are playing a little. Their record is a little out beyond what the actual like competitive level is of that team. And the Vikings are kind of the opposite, where we're sitting here and it feels like such a disaster because all the conversations we're poking at all these things. But the Vikings are 4-5. Probably should have a couple other wins, if not for some self-inflicted stuff here and there. They're a talented roster. I also think you're going to get a boost from Justin Jefferson. This feels like one of those like Jefferson bounce back, highly emotional kind of a games for him.
Yep.
So I also have Vikings to win and Vikings to cover.
Purple Kool-Aid all around here. Huh?
That's right. Just chugging that purple Kool-Aid. Let's go.
Drunk on the Kool-Aid.
Let us know in the comment section and click the like button and the subscribe button here on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Let us know what you think the score is, who's going to win by how many, and we'll see you guys right after the game for Vikings Vent Line on the Purple Daily YouTube channel tomorrow.